cleared. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
The stakes have never been higher. The competition has never been stronger. 42 drivers, 25 rounds. One will be crowned champion. Competition. Commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American Open Wheel Series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. After a short road course and a short oval, it's time to go to the place where everything is bigger. From Texas Motor Speedway, this is the Global Sim Racing Channel's Round 11 coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. It's the 2019 championship sponsored by First Medical Equipment. The Lionheart IndyCar Series celebrates 5 years of iRacing at this Texas high-banked oval. That will be stiff challenge for the Lionheart drivers as they battle not only with each other, but track conditions and tire temperatures as well. There will be drafting with wheel-to-wheel action. There will be tire fall-off, forcing different lines to come into play. Above all, there will be some of the most talented open-wheel drivers on iRacing today. It's the Loud Pedal Motorsports 200, and you can see all the simulated Dallara IR18 action live as it happens right here on the iRacing Esports Network. Hello, everyone, and welcome from the Lone Star State. Up in the booth to bring you our bird's eye view, it's Soup and Crackers once again. Sean Crackers and Frost, joined by yours truly, Bill Soups On. I'm Jed Yaman, has director duties, armed with cameras locked and loaded by the GSR ski camera guru, Dougie Beard. Okay, now, remember, over the next 15 minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the Loud Pedal Motorsports 200 that will immediately follow here as we count down to green on the Sim Experience Countdown to Green. Crackers, we're going to talk about Texas. It's going to be close racing, which means the drivers are just an inch away from having their racing experience ended, not only prematurely, but often violently.
Soup, listen, just real quickly, okay? It's GSRC, okay?
Right.
GSRC, all right? Now, listen, Texas Motor Speedway, my backyard. Used to be my backyard. 1997, opening weekend. A heavy fog laid over a meadow just outside the backstretch, and the choppers came in, Soup, early one morning on a Sunday morning for the first NASCAR Cup race ever at this track. Today, we'll get around in the Indy cars on the old layout now. They've reconfigured this track, namely turns 1 and 2. But on this old layout, mile and a half, quad oval, 24-degree turns all the way around, Soup. This is going to be a blistering fast pace that hopefully isn't marred by caution flags. But the best way to get an idea of what this track is really like in an IndyCar is to go on our GSRC Dallara IR18 IndyCar.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the Texas Motor Speedway in the GSRC IR18 IndyCar. So without further ado, here we go for the hot lap. We're going to be swinging it out here a little wider than you probably did in the DW12, bringing it right down here to that white line, planting that left front right there, hooking the corner on exit. Don't let it drift all the way up to the wall just yet. Down the backstretch, track very, very bumpy. Kind of drive it straight in there and you'll see kind of hook this line once again. Let it rotate, kind of come off the bottom a little bit, but then don't get all the way out to the wall. As the run progresses, you're going to see guys all over this track. So here we go off into turn one, all the way up here, especially with the aero sensitivity of these Indy cars. If you can find some clean air, you can find some time. Down the backstretch, take that high lane off, can really set you up for a good move here into three. Heck, you might even see them all the way up here by the fence. They're going to be all over this Texas Motor Speedway in these Indy cars. Off of turn 4, through the quad oval, across the line. And that is going to complete our track guide here around the Texas Motor Speedway. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
A bad fast lap around Texas Motor Speedway right here in Denton County, Texas. The countdown to green is brought to you by Sim Experience, the team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering systems. By providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer. It can also make for an effective training tool for real-world drivers. For more information on the entire Sim Experience ecosystem, including their GS5 seat, Stage Series motion systems, and Sim Vibe software, visit simexperience.com and use the promo code SIM XLION to get 5% of the Sim Vibe software suit.
You don't want to get those extra large ions. That's right. You know, realism. We read a lot of plugs here at the Global Sim Racing channel, and it seems like the adjective of choice for all the plugs we read when realism is involved, the word they put in front of it is unparalleled. If you're out there watching right now, try to say unparalleled realism 3 times fast. It is brutal. Let's go ahead. Something much easier to talk about is the Lionheart IndyCar Series driver standings presented by First Medical Equipment. You got to love people who deliver medical equipment. Keep in mind that these results do not take into account any of the 3 drop rounds allowed for in the rules. All right, Dan Blocker and Dan Guerin sit at the top. They hold station. Did I say? I did say Dan Blocker. It's Adam Blocker, right? There we go. Adam Blocker, of course, Dan Blocker, the Haas of Bonanza, but we're good once every season. Come on, Soup, let's get going. With 5 wins between those 2 guys, they sit in first and second. How about back-to-back podiums for Michael Goodman? The 8-ball motorsport star is up into third. A 5th place last time out was all it took for Justin Weaver to climb 5 spots into 7th. And then there's Connor Harrington. Now, he wasn't at Milwaukee, so it's no surprise to see the NHR esports driver drop down in the standings. But don't worry, drop races are going to come back, and that's going to clean things up for a lot of those guys. Let's look at the team championships. Everybody holds station up in first. Adrenaline Motorsports now with 192 points over Synergy East. Keep an eye on LPM. That's Cancer Down, guys. That's driven by Galvin, Hazard, and Lanini. They move back up into 4th as 8-ball continues its climb up the charts. That's Goodman and Weaver. That's the 2 of them working just a duo. Man, they are climbing up, and they are just about 100 points back of 4th place as they continue to go up. Great rookie race, though, as well. We're going to talk about that, but let me remind you that is the team championship brought to you by Plasma Tracks. Sean, how about the rookies?
The butt kicker rookie of the year standing, Soup, sees the top right now with very little movement. Martinez, 30 points ahead of Sage Karam, what a season Sage has had, but not enough races under the belt here to close that gap on Martinez yet. Hill sitting back there just 5 points behind Karam. Carey coming up a notch there in the 4th out of 5th, now 51 points, but Rigney not coming up himself into 5th, not far behind at all. It's George Sandman on the heels of last week's race, Soup. Finds himself now down in 6th in those standings. And you go on back, you've got the Watchman there rounding out the top 10. And Sean Cole right there at 11th. You go all the way back to West there in 14th. And he's going to need a lot more races to pick this thing up and maybe get up into a chance to fight for any gold here in the Rookie of the Year standing, Soup.
It is fun, though. We've been watching Damon Martinez. You were on the broadcast last time out at Milwaukee, and we noticed how fast he is. Although he has that issue of, like many rookies do, of being fast, but he's got to get the points at the end. And, of course, then there is Hill, who's our cleanest driver. John Hill, of course, he got involved in an incident, ruined his perfect race season he had going without any incident points. Considered the premier fixed setup racing league for the Delia RR18 on the iRacing service, the Lionheart IndyCar Series honors the memory of the late Dan Weldon. And I want to talk about where we're coming to you on, and that is the iRacing Esports Network. You know, many of the top iRacers in the iRacing World Championships, as well as many top private leagues like the one you're watching right now, are spotlighted on the iRacing Esports Network. If you haven't done so yet, become a subscriber so you don't miss a thing. You know, GSRC is proud to be part of the stable of the iRacing, the stable of broadcasters in the iRacing Esports Network. All right, I've butchered my way through plug after plug after promotion after promotion. Let's go to something that never fails to entertain. It's time for the doctor. There's 2 of them here today. Look, there's a big doctor and a little doctor. What are we doing here?
Dieter, Horatio's role in the play is minor. Most critics agree with that. Oh, wait. Oh, ratios. We're talking about ratios. Soup. Hey, great to be here with you today. You know, earlier this season, we talked about gear ratios on road courses, but gear ratios have an equally important role on ovals. You know, unlike road courses where you be shifting tens or even hundreds of times on a lap, on an oval, you may not shift for several laps. So why are gear ratios important? Well, on ovals such as Texas, it's customary to run 2 top gears. One gear, generally 5th gear, for running on your own, and one generally, let's say 6th gear for running in the draft. So you get that slipstream. Now, these ratios are going to be finely tuned to extract the most speed out of 5th gear. Should be just below the rev limiter and at the end of the longest straight, while 6th gear should be just below the rev limiter while drafted behind multiple other cars. The key is to not be on that rev limiter. Now, if the ratio is even off a little bit, you can lose 1 or 2 miles an hour to the top speed available, which doesn't sound like much, but tell that to Fernando Alonso, whose team failed to adjust the gear ratios, and it cost him a shot at racing in this year's Indy 500, Soup.
Yep, indeed. If I were in charge of motor racing around the world, I would eliminate rev limiters. I say let the driver push it into the red line, see if he can get the car to go faster and have it blow up. That's what I would do. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the weather, Sean. What's it look like out there? A little gloomy.
It is a little gloomy. It's overcast, very overcast right now, but it's only about 73 degrees on track, so that's not too bad. Track temperature 73 degrees. Should have a grippy track. I'm not really concerned about the wind because of the banking here. It's all about the speed and the G-forces at Texas Motor Speedway in this IR18. Now, is this car twitchy? Yes, indeed, Soup, it is. And you know what? Why don't we take this opportunity to look at the details of tonight's event? And, you know, these series details come to us thanks Minus 273, the premier name in karting gloves. For more information on Minus 273's full line of gloves and apparel, visit minus273.biz and use the promo code LHRS for 25% off of your orders. Season 7, folks. This is round 11. We've almost hit the halfway pole here in the Delia IR18 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. This is a fixed setup that has been created by the league. They work on these things together and put an awful lot of time in the seat, getting these adjusted to, well, let's say a consensus of the driver's ability behind these machines. Cash and prizes totaling almost $10,000. It just blows me away, man. $9,652 to be exact. I wonder if that is maybe some change involved with that. Maybe 38 cents, 33. Do I hear 40?
No, I think they got it right. They 52 on the nose.
Okay.
They
All right.
got that right there. Talk about numbers. What do you think the significance is of minus 273 for those gloves? Am I missing something? I would like to know whether. I wonder if that's the temperature they'll keep your hands warm till. Like, what? All right. I have totally destroyed any sponsor relationship I have with Abrams. I've butchered them all in this intro today. Let's go to something where we won't really ruin it. Can we go to the grid? It looks like qualifying is done. Let's do that right now.
All right.
I'm not all that excited about qualifying here in Texas. This is a draft as long as you're up front. Let's take it a load at a time. There you see it. It's Dan Garrett on the pole and Brian Beard going to be in second. Well, that's nice, Sean.
All right, Soup. It's going to be Ron Hacker on the second row with Sage Karam on his outside.
Row 3 is populated by Brandon Limkeman. He's going to be inside of Michael Goodman.
Connor Harrington starting 7th today next to Adam Blocker in the number 1.
Jason Galvin, after having a good run last time out, he's going to be in 9th. He's flanked by Tyler Groff.
And the Candyman is starting 11th today, Soup, in row 6, and he'll start there with Christopher.
In the unlucky 13th position, it's Joe Canigan Flanagan. His nickname is going to counter the unluckiness of being in 13th. He's inside of Justin Weaver.
I get row 8 with Brian. Put it out, Yazik. He'll start 15th, and Stefan Larkamp, who's starting 16th today in a number 62 Delara IR18.
17th and 18th go to George Anzaldo with Big Joe Hassard next to him.
And there's that Rookie of the Year, Buck Kicker Rookie of the Year standings leader, Damon Martinez, starts 19th today in a number 3 next to David Altman. His surveyor, number 88.
Too late to get your flavored pretzels from Von Hansen's Meat for 4th of July, but you can still order them up. Get them as soon as you can. Bob Mike is in that machine, sitting at 21. The Watchman in the double duck spot, Mark Cohn.
Joe Branch and Brian Greenlee round out row 12.
Quarter century mark is Paul Jenkins. He's sided by, what's Andrew Kinsella doing back in 26th?
No clue. Row 14 going to be GSRC's own Sam Ryman, sitting there with Bart Workman in 28th in the 09.
Then in row 30, it's Scott Johnson and George Anzaldo. Oh, I'm sorry, George Sandman. Wrong George.
Okay. And I'll pick it up there, Soup, and we'll go on to Robert Bluen and Isaiah Dupree.
33rd is Mike Rigney. Mr. Clean, John Hill back in 34th, and Ken Hacker in 35th. Well, we got through that one relatively easy as all the drivers are lining up online. They're beginning to roll, which is my cue to talk about that we have some onboard cameras today. We bring up Jason Galvin in the Sim Experience onboard machine. Who we got next?
Big Joe. The Big Joe Show.
There you go. In the SMC onboard camera. Sean, you get the next one.
All right, and then Brian Greenlee. He's in the race sponsor camera there, the Loud Pedal Motorsports camera on board Brian Greenlee, and that Big Joe Hasser cam, that's Sam Maxwell Customs, is that SMC suit.
Oh, thank you for that. Oh man, they got some cool stuff. I didn't know that.
They do.
Thanks for filling in on that one. I didn't know the abbreviation on that. I've checked them out, and if you don't know Sam Maxwell Customs, check them out. They'll make your sim racing just a lot more fun, in my opinion. All right, the lights are off the pace car. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. Dan Guerin brings them across the line out in front. Brian Beard, Ron Hacker, Sage Karam, Brandon Limkeman, they all slot in. Look at this, Sean. They start to get single file almost all the way through the field.
Yeah, not taking them long down the backstretch here to kind of go line astern. It's the real battling is up there in the front, the top 5.
Indeed, they start to, whoa, my goodness. Up front, it is really hectic because they are 3 wide. Guerin fending him off, holding down the low line. That's Brian Beard right behind him, up on top. Sage Karam. I think and here comes Beard underneath Guerin, and he gets the pass made. New leader. Sean, what they're doing is having fun while the tires let them. Oh.
Yeah, and Karam, I think, paying the price for that early dash up the middle. Now starting to find some momentum around the top side. He gets up to P2. Now he's tracking on Beard.
There are no fast repairs in the Lionheart event. If you break it, you bought it. The car down low now drifting up. That's Connor Harrington. Speed is never his problem. It's a matter of getting the car home clean. He's been doing that better lately. He is up into fourth. On the top side, Limkeman, second in row up top. Chris Stouffer up 3 spots now in ninth.
This is
Races
super
on the inside
dicey.
line. Way too dicey.
Yes.
Or way too early.
Forget
On the
line
other
of
hand-
stern. They've thrown it out the window basically all the way through the field, Sue.
Yeah, and they were so strung out on the very first lap. They went out of 2. They were all in a single file. Boy, then they all gathered up. Jason Galvin has worked his way now up into 11th position. Galvin continues to try to work the inside line.
This pack separated by 2.2 seconds, Sue. Kinsella at the back of it. Then you've got to go all the way back. 26th place behind Kinsella. 2 seconds. George Sandman leading that pack. Those are the guys that are line and stern, and they are getting dropped like flies.
And how about our leader, Brian Beard? My goodness, having a great run. Beard's best finish this season has been 9th. Let me read the rest of these two. 15th, 27th, 19th, 20th, 25th, 41st, a 12th, and a 13th to open. 1 top 10 all season long, and that's barely, and he's out in front right now, enjoying Texas. Sean, these are fixed setups, so everyone's racing the same thing, but sometimes the setup just fits you better, and I think Brian Beard's happy with this, man.
Well, right, okay, so it's like I said, it's a consensus. I didn't say that everybody agrees with that setup, right, or that everybody's capable of driving it. So, really favoring Beard's driving style at the moment, for sure, Sue.
Clean air probably helping a little bit. Now with a run on the top side with a good head of steam, but I think it's going to die out. That was Dan Guerin. Guerin, your pole sitter, wants that back. Look at Beard cover the inside like wall-to-wall carpet. He is not letting anybody get underneath him.
Soup, this race is going to be over in about 5 minutes. And the pace are setting.
I mentioned it in the opening, almost getting together with Sage Karam. Almost got together with Connor Harrington, a couple youngsters. Woo. That took Abby's breath away as Sage Karam's girlfriend watching from the bedroom. He's okay. He's still out there.
I'm actually still stunned that they are shuffling all the way back here to the top 20. Everybody side by side. No one really stepping in line. It's a big game of Frogger right now, Soup. You remember Frogger?
I do indeed.
Yeah, it's multiplayer Frogger right now.
Right now, what you want to try to do is eat the fly, right? Is that part of Frogger? I think that's part of it. There you go. I think what's going to happen is these tires are going to lose their fun here in a minute, and guys are going to have to get into single file.
Yeah, I you know what, I do agree with that actually, and we have a little bit of data on that actually. As I was reading earlier, on a run, the right front, the right sides in general, especially that right front on what is about a max run of about 40 laps. So you're looking at about 50, just a little bit under 50% tire degradation. So that tire is falling off significantly at this point. As we're 15 laps into this run now. So I would definitely say that right front especially, and the right rear as well, starting to fall off and really change the driving style here on track. And of course, you're always fighting that aero wash every time, every lap that you're under somebody's wing here, heading into one of these 24-degree bank turns.
Pass for the lead. Guerin does get underneath him, and that's going to be all she wrote. Dandy Dan gets underneath Beard, and we'll have a new leader as we start to work lap number 17. I was going to wait for a yellow flag before we went to our race analysis, but I think the way this is going, I better bring it up here under green flag conditions. How far are we going? How about 134 laps? How far can we go? You heard Sean talk about 40. They told me 41. Let's use our rule of thumb and add 2 more on there. Let's say 43 for the guys who are conserving. Then you saw the incident caps there that are not really going to be a factor.
Soup, just behind our leaders, there is just a wonderful battle for P10 that's being led by Tyler Graff right now, but he's got Yazik behind him and Blocker and Hacker. That's just an angry herd of lions. Or is that a Pride? That's a Pride, isn't it?
I believe it would be a Pride.
Yeah, they're on his back door here, on their way.
Well, the guy who takes pride in racing cleanly is Tyler Groff in 10th position. This is really not
just in front of him, there's trouble. Big wreck.
I think it's Chris Stouffer. He got pushed into the wall. He got together with Brandon Lipkeman. Lipkeman then got rear-ended by Adam Blocker, your points leader. And then it was an octopus putting on its socks.
Stouffer making contact with Sage Karam.
Yep.
How did Sage wind up back there is my question. Now, what I'm trying to establish is they just met in the same place at the wrong time.
And that put Stouffer into the wall. He got connected with Limkeman. Limkeman then got tagged by Blocker going down low.
I'll take this on board from Blocker, Sue.
Yeah, and then Limkeman, you see him bouncing up. He tries his best to keep the car down, but there's Blocker. And then Limkeman goes up.
Wow. Poor Adam had nowhere to go there. Just guessed wrong. Guessed wrong, buddy. Oh, look at pit lane, Sue. Mercy, yeah. Mercy.
Well, they're all coming, and it's not for fuel. You got to come in for tires.
I think that's exactly what happened there. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Sage had beat that right front up in those early laps, digging for gold there, to try to get up to the front. He wore that right front out quick. He started fading back through the field, and he kind of got in the wash there, started to wash up the track, makes the contact, and, now finds himself all the way back at P21 after this round of pit stops.
Right, that's kind of what we were talking about, where the tires are going to go away, and not only can you not race the same way you do on the opening laps, but you're more likely to see that kind of incident. Right as we were on that incident, we were talking about Tyler Graff. We were focusing on him. He was racing in 7th. We highlighted how he likes to keep the car clean. He managed to get the minus 273 sponsored car around that, and sure enough, he's now in 7th.
Soup, did you know that minus 270 degrees Celsius is absolute zero? Theoretically, the lowest temperature possible. So, Ryan Otis thinks that it means you can't possibly find gloves that are any cooler than theirs. Leave it to the very wise Ryan Otis that feed us that information. So, thank you, Ryan.
Man. Not only the information, but the tagline to go with it. Thanks, Ryan.
Right? How about that?
Yeah. Yep. All right, it's time to go back to green. The lights are off at the pace car. They come out in pretty much the same order they were racing. Guerin, Beard, Connor, Harrington, Goodman, Galvin. The driver that you don't see up front is Karam along Sage. Don't see Sage Karam up there. We are working lap number 22. It'll be 23 when we go green. Pace car pulls in, and look at this. Dan Guerin wastes no time getting on the throttle. Out in front. Your big mover so far is the driver in 6, Justin Weaver. Up 8 spots.
Yeah, Justin's been moving well through the field. Soup had avoided trouble, obviously. Watch out for Larkamp just behind him. Not too far back behind him there, Soup. Larkamp on a really good run here so far himself. And of course, that Rookie of the Year leader, David Martinez, about to crack the top 10.
There's Larkamp. We go a little farther back. Let's look at the driver in 15th. This is one we should probably keep an eye on. We did not like his qualifying. We're talking about Andrew Kinsella. He's back there behind Flanagan and Hassard right now. Plenty of time for Kinsella to move his way up through the field.
Boy, I think we should put the cameras up front, Soup.
Look at this.
I don't want to tell our director how to do his job, but my, oh my. There is some daring do going on up there. Jason Galvin, one of them right now, trying to throw that global energy car in there.
Galvin started in 9th. Found his way up into 2nd. And again, now the tires are friendly. They're having some fun. That car on the top side, that's Harrington. I think there's plenty of grip up there. It's just a matter of it's just longer around the top side, and there just doesn't seem to be a need for any momentum up there. It just, everyone's driving flat out. There's Harrington gets around Galvin, and now he'll have a run. Prove me long, Connor. We ride on board with Jason Galvin on the Sim Experience onboard camera, looking right over the top of his head. Car directly in front is Guerin, and now tucking down in, that's Harrington. Hey, there's the door open for Harrington. Does a little dipsy-do.
Yeah.
Couldn't get it done. What do you got, Sean?
Oh, I want to give Galvin, I want to get Galvin's sponsor right. It's Global Electronic Technologies.
Oh. I know what that is. They do credit cards for you. If you've got a small business and you want to have a quick and easy credit card approval, that's where you want to go. And the percentage that they take is good too. Yeah, all right.
The top 10 is just nuts, right? Even just behind the top 10, but I mean, again, they're just continuing to shuffle here, lap after lap. It's Wardlow right now back there trying to make some hay and hang on to the top 10, maybe get into it here. Martinez, there he is. He's cracking the top 10 now.
Yep. He will be fun to watch. These cars as they go. Oh, that's a great camera shot. Martinez is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th in line on the inside there. Car number 3. Oh my goodness, almost getting together was Larkamp right up in front of Beard. They managed to keep it going. Drivers who are out of this one: Brandon Lipkman, Chris Stouffer, Bob Mikas, and David Altman.
So, did you know that Dan Guerin is the all-time lap leader here at Texas Motor Speedway with 153?
I did not, but if you would have had me pick somebody, that would have been my first choice.
He's probably got more practice laps here than anybody, too. That's just how Dan rolls.
Yeah. And look at that. Harrington continues to try to get something around the top. Maybe he's just looking for some clean air up there. Sean, is it harder on your tires if you're behind somebody in the wash? Maybe if you get some on the outside line, might be better on your tires if you have some clear air on the nose?
No, if you can get clean air is king, so are fresh tires, okay? Now, if you've got the dirty air, then your car is fighting the grip on track, and it's sliding around, and it's definitely wearing off those tires. It's scuffing them off. That's really what it's doing. And you can hear that sound if you had those sounds turned up in the sim.
So my impression would be Harrington taking that higher line is maybe not an attempt to make the pass, although he'll take it if it's there, but maybe it's just an easier line for him up there with a...
Yeah, it's preservation. Yeah. It's preservation right now in anticipation of another long run like we started this race with. I mean, Soup, I don't have to tell you what the times are. We see them on screen. They click them off really quick here at Texas Motor Speedway. It's almost like watching a bootleg race on Saturday night, Soup.
Indeed. In fact, it's all the way back to 25th position as this 3 seconds behind the leader. So it's pack racing. It's a big pack.
The other thing that's different about Texas Motor Speedway.
3 wide up front.
Oh, yeah. I'll shut up now.
Who is that poking his nose in there? That is
Garen
now. Yeah, look at this. Yasik has mixed it up. Garen was in the front. He has fallen back into third. Yasik is in his familiar HPP blue-colored machine down low.
He better not be the reason we have to put it out.
Yeah.
I believe he does carry his flags in the cockpit with him when he's driving, so. Look at this battle now with Harrington side by side down this backstretch.
You want to watch a fun broadcast, watch Brian Yasik and Jason Galvin. They are teamed up most often on Thursday nights to call these retro series in Lionheart. It is fun to watch. I enjoy it, boy.
Yasik's enjoying that preferred line down there on the bottom right now. Harrington's up there hanging on, coming out.
Back behind. That is Stefan Larkamp. He got into it with the Moby Dickie's machine of Justin Weaver.
And the caution has not come out.
You want
That's
a guy
wheel
with
hop.
a view.
Contact and a wheel hop. Got over the Kardashian there.
We'll take 2 views of this one. Let's get an onboard from Brian Beard. He was basically in the cockpit with these guys. And now it comes out. Here's Brian. It happens right in front of him. Oh, you can see Brian he got a piece of that. That's his left rear wing. Got a rift front wing comes up. So, Sean, your guess is that caution was from that? Yeah, it looks like Justin Weaver, maybe when he took the car back out on the track, it resulted in a caution.
Okay, that's probably why it happened.
Boy, there's some hard-hearted auto race stewards here.
Yeah. It's like, what more do I got to do to get caution here? Come on.
Jeez. Felt like I was watching Ben-Hur. Let's keep going. Now, this run has been a little bit longer. Is it going to be pit stop time? My guess is it's going to be. Leaders are coming in. Harrington, Garen, Galvin.
I'm going to default to. I'm going to default to Richie here. Fresh rubber is king, man. You give me a chance here with a yellow flag. We're 43 laps into this race. Sure, why not? Everybody agrees. Nobody disagrees with that strategy at this point.
Whenever I see if there's an alternative strategy to be made, instantly I put my eyes on either if James Grahula's in the event, I go there, or if Samuel Ryman is there. If there's a way to do it, Sammy will also do it. Sammy both came in. couple drivers did say George Anzaldo, John Hill. I think they'll probably be coming in soon. With that, we'll take a short break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Don't go far. Streaming cyberspace into your place on the iRacing Esports Network. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series, round number 11 here from Texas. It is the 5th anniversary of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. They celebrate that 5 years ago.
It is, Soup.
They had their very first race.
Yes.
We're glad that you're with us. Pace car is in. Well, George Anzaldo is your leader. He decided not to pit. He's out there on 25-lap old tires. We'll see how this plays out. Brian Yazik and Connor Harrington about 5 car lengths behind him and coming fast. John Hill stayed out with Anzaldo. I figured they would both come in. Hill did. Anzaldo did not. Anzaldo gets credit with leading that green flag lap. Now let's see what track position means and that inside line and fresh air means to George Anzaldo. Well, it's not going to mean much if you give him the inside, George. And that's what they're going to take.
You just open a door for him. Come on through. Ole.
Ole is right.
Whoa! Watch the wall, buddy.
Oh, my. So once the inside line was given up, Anzaldo falling back. That puts Dan Guerin out in front with some momentum now from Jason Galvin.
So George took a chance there. I don't know if he really needed to. It's going to cost him here. He's already dropped all the way back to 12th. He's got 28 laps on those tires. And they're
Yes.
they're just
not-
ganging up on him.
It's not going to cost him unless we go green for a long stint here. Otherwise, he can come back in. He was back in the back, and he'll be fine.
The previous stints have all been long ones, Soup. That's
Yeah,
the thing that
that's
worries
right.
me here.
Well, maybe he has to pay the pit crew by the amount of time he comes in, so
Right.
he's trying to save a little money.
Maybe a little short on tire money,
Yeah, that's it.
possibly.
Yeah.
Those Firestone guys, got some pretty rough people that work for them. So
Looking at you, big movers. I want to focus on Damon Martinez, the hotshot rookie that Sean pointed out. He continues to race in 10th.
yeah, right there with Wardlow. They've been hooked up this whole race, and both have enjoyed the success of coming through the field with it.
But I think they're kind of in the midst of it. That's the impression I get, that is seems to be where it happens, in and around you. Really slow up top is Michael Goodman as they get a run. Going underneath is Wardlow.
You know who else you need to watch out for right now? Watch out for Big Joe. The Big Joe show is climbing his way up here really, really quick. Tracking on the inside. He just pulled in behind Harrington here. Gonna drop to the bottom, Sue. Or into the middle at least. Gets out of the wash of Harrington. Good run. On Joe with that, on board with the Big Joe show and that Sam Maxwell Customs camera.
Yeah, that's a good onboard camera to be as he's working his way up, and you can see what's going on up in front.
And he needs to get back down low. That's where he was really picking up spots. Like I'm gonna tell Big Joe how to drive his car.
I don't mean to be cavalier about the action up front. It does change, and there is passing for the lead, and it certainly is exciting, but the names seem to change. Right now, Sage Karam in the number 2 with a run.
Talk about in a state of yo. I mean, he's yo-yoed all up and down this field, Sue.
See, now look at the way that Guerin really guards the inside. If you're gonna go underneath him, you really have to work on it.
Return him.
Or turn him. Karam tries to get a run off of 4 through the dog leg. Not going to get there.
When a leader constantly protects that bottom line like that, it can be very, very frustrating to a driver. It can even bring up a mistake. You don't intend to do it. You never meant to make contact, but because you were frustrated, you make an error, and then of course it comes off as, well, he wrecked it, right? So Terry Labonte might agree with that.
Yeah. I would like to ask Sage Karam if there's a sense of relief that, because he's a real world driver, and boy, you just don't want to crash the car in the real world. I wonder if it gives him an opportunity to race with a little more aggression that he wouldn't show in real world. It's interesting. Right now, he is right on the back of Guerin, then he pulls the outside. Watch, we'll stay on this for a minute. Watch when they come off of 4. Right now.
Oh, they're crashing behind him on the backstretch, Sue. Out of 2, there's big trouble. Started with blocker, I think.
Here, we'll see if we can find it. Wardlow involved in it. I think it is Tyler Groff who gets loose originally and catches Wardlow going by, and then they go up.
Yeah. Boy, and it was just like that other incident, Soup. It was just coming off of 2. The one that involved Karam earlier. Just coming off of 2, they make the slight contact, and then one car on the top hooks around. But that time it was the car on the inside, but Graff, oh, what a shot for Groff.
Cone gets a piece of going by. Adam Blocker, he goes up and over. And he pinwheels down. Other cars involved are George Sandman, who we haven't heard much about. Tyler Groff involved about 3 times in the crash.
Big junk here at Texas Motor Speedway on that one.
Well, that'll thin the herd, or as you mentioned, thin the pride a little bit.
Yeah. Karam gets all the way down to his box and in pit road.
And he might have missed a stall. First out of pit lane. It looks like it's going to be Dandy Dan Guerin with Jason Galvin behind him. Harrington, Karam, Goodman, Hassard, Yazik, and your top 10 is rounded up by Joe Canigan, Flanagan. Everybody pitted.
Paul Jenkins, John Hill.
John Hill. This is what John Hill did last time. He was behind George Anzaldo. He came in at the very end. Let's see if Paul Jenkins does a Anzaldo, stays out, or if he decides to come in.
Well, I'd hope they taken some notes from George there on that last stop. It looks like John Hill's going to go ahead and come on in. Hill just wanted to get out of the mix there.
Well, with another yellow flag, this will give us an opportunity to talk about one of our sponsors. I didn't catch the director by surprise. How about the Sim Pit? Director, can we do that one? Talk about the Sim Pit. They're an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of, well, what else? Sim racing. Its focus is to bring you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim racing hardware and software. They also focus on what it takes to be a better sim racer with instructional videos and how-tos that will help you perform better and be faster. What they don't do is give on-air shout-outs to commentators, no matter how solicitously they might be requested. Come on, Sean Cole, give old Soup a hello. Check them all out at thesimpit.com.
All right, so Soup, you'd mentioned before, Lionheart just celebrated their 5th anniversary on July 1st, actually. So GSRC has been with them for quite a while, actually. So we, in fact, covered, I believe it was their season finale at
Yes, we did.
At Auto Club Speedway. A guy, an old friend of ours, Richard Losper, was lead commentator. I was co-commentator on that broadcast, one of my early broadcasts with GSRC, and some kid named Evan Pasoko. I don't know. I think he broadcasts NASCAR something. So anyway, but boy, we were all young in this game then, and big fun. It's really, really cool that Lionheart's still here, still around, and still a force to be reckoned with as far as all the private league series, which Soup, you've seen the forums. Yeah. There are a lot of private leagues out there. This one stands apart from pretty much all of them. So congratulations to the guys.
They have
and ladies that have been here over the time.
Yeah. They have come a long way in 5 years, as has GSRC. We are glad to be part of it. Lights are off the pace car, so it's time to go racing here. And look at this. Boy, some people just don't learn by watching others. Paul Jenkins is going to pull a George Anzaldo. But as he is going to stay on out on 19-lap old tires. What's interesting is that car behind him, that is George Anzaldo, who is a lap down. Now, Paul, what you need to do is try to keep the car to the left of the track, and maybe we'll go around the top side of you. That's Soup giving you some a little driving advice.
Helping him out a little bit there, Soup.
Yes, indeed. Now, there goes Anzaldo. He is a lap down. He's going to cover. This is going to, maybe Anzaldo's going to be Jenkins' best friend right now as Anzaldo takes that top line. It's going to be hard for anyone to get around. Guerin now is going to have to go up. He gets underneath him. Paul. And here they come. Guerin gets through. Galvin gets through. That's Harrington going underneath. Sage Karam gets under him. And for good measure, let's go 3 wide up front. Yeah.
Karam again, trying to split the middle there. Oh my. Watch out. Harrington trying to be the sneaky guy back there, Soup.
Galvin took the wide line, gave lots of room to those guys up in front. Harrington in fourth. Paul Jenkins hanging in there. He got down to the inside. He's in sixth now. My guess is the car just won't go down low on old tires. He has the opportunity to take it down, but it just will not stay down there. Big Joe gets underneath him. Car in the mix is George Anzaldo, still first car 1 lap down. 23 cars on the lead lap. George Anzaldo, the only car 1 lap down. Big names who are out. Go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say it's still impressive that they can run in the pack like they've run, Soup. But we hit a few caution flags there, but and the field is thinned a bit, but the racing is still just as intense as it was earlier.
Big names who are out. Mark Cohn, Tyler Groff. The Candyman, Dustin Wardlow is done. George Enter Sandman is out. Your points leader, Adam Blocker, his day is over. The Pennsylvania marketing student, Stephen Larkamp, his day's done. Moby Dickies, no celebration going on there as Justin Weaver's called it a night. And as the field gets smaller, the green flag runs get longer. The strategy gets more important.
And Leo gets larger.
Sorry. I got you.
Okay, all right. Somebody got it.
Sage Karam, you can see him up on the top. He's side by side. Again, I don't think it's a legitimate chance. It's just finding some good place to put his nose.
Maybe we should work on a little phrasing there, Sue.
When I said it, so that could be a problem. That's nothing compared to you when you got spread your wings and stretch your legs.
Okay,
confused.
okay, yes, right, yeah. We all remember that one, Sue, yes.
Yeah, I'll let everyone else do the math on that one so I keep my job, but you get the idea.
All right, Soup, so the front pack now separated by about what here? About 3 seconds, 4 seconds.
Yeah, they're starting, yeah,
Back
it's
to Rigney. So it's
yep.
basically the top 20.
I think the real question is are we going to get a green flag stop? And I think there's probably a good possibility of that now.
I would say with the attrition that we've had here, especially after that last big one, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think we'll find that sweet spot for a green flag stop. And it'll be the last stop, honestly. That's what they decide to roll with, yeah.
You know, it's fun to see some drivers that were up front early, then they kind of fall off, then we forget about them. Brian Beard was racing up front for a long time. He's now back in 13th. And you really can't write anybody off because for all you know, they're sitting on a car that's really, really fast and they're just biding their time.
I mean, it's still a little ways to go in this. We still got 57 laps to track out here, and what we're considering is a green flag pit stop. So a lot of work to be done. That's going to be the biggest challenge of all this, Soup, is if they do get that green flag pit stop, We haven't done that yet tonight. Nobody's, I don't know how much everybody practiced on it, but getting into pit lane here at speed and in IndyCar, not very easy. It's a bit of a trick.
As we ride on board with the leaders now, just a couple cars back behind these guys, and I tried to document Habaketch's drive through the field, but Andrew Kinsella, it didn't feel right when I saw him back in 26, and it didn't really, it took him a little bit to get up to fourth, and now Kinsella makes a move on the inside. He's up into third, and this is more what we would think from Habaketch. The question is, will anybody get to the inside of Dan Guerin? Here it comes! As I say it, it happens. I spoke it into reality.
Well, it seems like Sage has been threatening all night. He's there. Now, is Dan going to let him take it for a little while? I don't know. I really, really would rather be in the clean air. I think Dan would too. Going to try and cross him over here coming off of 2.
Going underneath.
This will hurt
And he gets
Kinsella.
it back, yeah.
If they keep doing this will hurt Kinsella.
Lap times picking up as they continue to swap. Kinsella back about 8 car lengths back.
Yeah. Oh, we got an incident in the back and the
George
caution's
and
out.
Zaldo and Ken Hacker get together, and Zaldo gets turned around. He was racing 1 lap down. It'll be more than that now.
It's the hot corner, Sue. Turn 2. It's where all the actions happen tonight. Contact with Ken. That's basically the third incident. Same play, third act.
Yep. Well, the drivers are not in their window to get. If they make the stop, they still need to make one more. So now, been out there for 23. I think you got to come in, but if you're somebody in the back, I don't know.
Yeah, everybody's coming in soon. Again, there's just too many laps on the tires. It's 24 laps on that run.
There he is.
You're a sitting duck if you don't.
Who do I look for when I'm looking for alternate strategy?
Yeah, there's Sammy.
There he is, baby.
Way to go, Sammy.
Sammy's going to take that yellow and orange Simonized machine. He's going to park it down on the white line and make him go around. John Hill doing what he has done many times. He stays out as well. Now, John will come in, though. He'll top off. We're going to take a short break. Don't go far.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
How the heck does cyberspace get into your place? Well, it comes courtesy of the iRacing Esport Network and the production value of the Global Sim Racing Channel as we are covering the Lionheart IndyCar Series round number 11 from Texas, the Loud Pedal Motorsports 200. We are under yellow, working lap number 86. When we go green, it'll be lap number 87, and it is Dandy Dan Guerin out in front. Real world IndyCar driver Sage Karam right behind him. The man that we didn't like his qualifying position, Andrew Havakech Kinsella back in third, Connor Harrington and Big Joe Hassard. The three drivers that stayed out and led a lap, they all came in, they topped out. They'll need to go 50 if they want to do it without stopping. I don't think you can go 50 laps. They told me 41. I gave you 42. I don't think there's any way Samuel Ryman can go the extra distance. We have a pass for the lead. Sage Karam working on the top, but he's just going to go race up there too wide. Oh my goodness, as here comes Connor Harrington. If you live in Washington, D.C., you're going to see the Blue Angels tomorrow at the parade. They're not going to race in any tighter formation than these guys are doing right now. Let's add in one more Angel. Big Joe Hassard joins the formation. Oh, crackers, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
This is...
It's not.
Oh.
Not going to work for long. What Galvin's back there blazing his way up through the field right now. Oh, he has to really throttle back as he got up under Goodman.
What's going on? You got a lot of drivers who think they can win this, and rightfully so, that are back in 10th and 11th position, seeing the laps click away and saying, if I'm going to win, I got to get going right now. So everybody is racing as if it's time to go racing, because it's time to go racing. Guys like Isaiah Dupree, Joe Cannigan Flanagan, Brian Beard. One driver that's laying back, probably the smartest of all, is car number 24, Ken Hacker. He's our spotlighted driver today. He might be the smartest of everybody, laying back, staying out of the worrisome problems that are going on up front. Take a look at Ken Hacker, our spotlighted driver. Look at all the nonsense going on. We're going to get this out of the way because here's the smartest driver on the track right now. 86 starts for him. No win so far. You'll see his first start back in Sonoma in Season 3. Well done. He's managed to avoid the curse of the spotlight. All that going on.
One of those guys that's close to 100 starts here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Won't get it this season, but
Yep.
I'm sure he'll be back for 2020.
Guerin, Karam, Branch, Kinsella, there's your top four. That order will change depending on when you look at it. You can see the tower to your left. Just look at the intervals on that right side column. All the drivers that are within striking distance.
Yeah, nobody... I was just going to say, nobody's out of this race right now. I mean, this is a battle all the way back to P18. There's a separation there between Hacker and Ryman at about 3 seconds.
You know, this being the 5th anniversary, I took time to think about some of my favorite moments while covering the Lionheart series. One of them is the driver in 17th, Mike Rigney, this season. Picked up a win, just a long shot win that he picked up. I think it was that, if memory serves, it was at Pocono. And that's just what you get in a iRacing Lionheart event. You just don't know how it's going to play out. There is pit stops to be made. Uh-oh, that's a yellow flag.
Is that, it's Yazik.
Oh, the car just went. Anybody got him on this one.
It was net code, Soup. It really, really was. I've seen it twice now. Car just moved.
Oh, I guess it was because of... Oh, yeah, you're right. I saw a little contact with Joe Flanagan, but Joe, you gave him half a car length. That was some ugly net code.
Yeah, Brian's not going to be happy when he sees that.
Both those drivers racing out of the U.S. you can probably be safe from that tragedy. But what it does do is gives an opportunity for everybody to come in. 13 laps on the tires. Somebody's going to stay out. There's one driver. Let's see if he's on the lead lap or not. That's Robert Bluen. I guess he's going to be our leader. Attaboy, Robert.
Yeah, everybody else. John Hill's going to stay out. I think Workman's going to stay out also, but everybody else going to come in. Boy, quick pit stop, Soup, as they file out.
Yeah, this is what Hill and Workman did last time. They stay out. First time we've seen Robert Bluen do it. I'd like to see Robert actually stay out under green. Maybe get a couple more yellows to see if he can nurse this. He's on a 12-lap stint. You add 12 and 37, that's 49. But you got this yellow flag in there. Maybe one more yellow flag, and Robert, you might be able to bring it home. I'll be talking to John Hill, trying to convince him of that strategy. It'll be a lot easier for Bluen to do it if he's got a wingman in the form of John Hill. And John's going to stay out. That's it. Bluen and Hill, what they need to do is just race side by side for the next 37 laps. Hope for a yellow flag.
Basically put up a roadblock.
Put up a roadblock. That's right.
Rolling roadblock.
That's right. Just be two grandmothers in their Nash Rambler side by side on a Sunday drive.
A Nash Rambler reference. That's greatness. Love that. Bet you could find one of those out here in California.
I'll tell you what you can find. And that is some cool stuff from Clipping That Apex. Capturing those epic moments of speed and skill, Clipping That Apex provides the finest in quality hand-drawn motorsports art. Hop in the driver's seat and get a customized art piece made just for you or the petrol head in your family. They also offer a wide variety of limited edition print shirts and swag. For more information, I'm telling you, this sounds really good. Visit clippingthatapex.com. Tagline for the Clipping That Apex is your home for custom motorsports art. What do we got going on as our director? Had a little bit of an ooh there. Oh, and it's Robert Bluen has decided to come in. That's discouraging, as I really thought they'd sit out there, Bluen and Hill could try to hold them all back. Well, crackers, we've got ourselves a 35-lap sprint to the end.
We certainly do, Soup. We certainly do.
Let's talk about... Go ahead.
Well, we've got a couple of guys up there that really didn't see the importance of a good qualifying run. They thought, you know what, we'll take our chances from the back in Kinsella and Branch. And
Yep.
boy, this is going to get exciting.
Now, Kinsella, we kind of tried to highlight his drive through the field. I'll be honest with you, Joe Branch kind of slipped up there on us, sitting in fourth. The rest of these guys we've all watched, keep an eye on Damon Martinez in eighth. These guys all have fresh tires. The passing is going to be easy. Oh, I think this one is going to be some good viewing right now. Chug-a-lug, makes you want to holler, hi-de-ho, it's Dan Guerin. Leading the field down into the first corner. Sage Karam, Kinsella, Branch behind him. Very, very well-behaved start. The front four start to pull away. They open up about a 15-car length lead on Michael Goodman. Don't worry, Michael's well within range. Coming at you. Talked about Goodman. Well, here he comes. There's a hole in the middle. If Michael wants it, he won't. 2 by 2 by 2. Now ducking out of the top line. Going down low. That was Joe Branch. He stays on the inside. 2 back. Karam working the top line. Clean air on the nose. Dandy Dan Guerin racing the line that he has taken the entire race. That low line.
It's just a shuffle. It's an IndyCar shuffle right now. And it's a lot of give and take, Soup. I see a lot of drivers checking up hard.
Kinsella back in third with nowhere to put the car. Karam high, Guerin down low. Now, let's see if Karam tries anything to get underneath them. There is a line underneath Guerin, but you're really going to have to work at it. It's going to be hard to get an entry into the corner. The only way to get under Guerin is out of 2. There's no way to get underneath him with the dog leg, so it's right out of here. And here it comes, and again, Karam goes to the top. Joe Branch in third on the inside line. Go ahead.
So I was just saying, they just keep pushing 3 wide here at the front.
Yeah, you got drivers back here. Goodman, Hazard, Galvin, Flanagan. These guys all have the pace to run up front if they can just get there. I know this is going to sound like an obvious statement, but the only thing keeping Joe Flanagan from winning this race are the 9 cars in front of him. Duh. Right. But the point is, if he could get up there, he could win the thing.
Well, no, he could, but I'm starting to feel like this is a Carburetor Cup race on a Friday night. I think anybody could win this race at this point, honestly, Sue. It's a big chess match, a 220-mile-an-hour chess match.
And unless you go 3 wide, it's going to be almost impossible to work your way through the field. Oh, that was Connor Harrington almost getting into Damon Martinez. It's just Kinsella back there. He has raced so many of these. He's on the top line. Somebody's going to have to try to get underneath Dan Guerin. We saw it happen once, and it might have been Guerin just doing it to get a little leapfrog going on. Now here comes 3 wide. Maybe if they pin Guerin down low 3 wide, that might be a way to do it. Once again, Karam in his familiar spot, about a half car length off of Guerin, guarding the top line. Kinsella looking to get to the outside of Karam and pin him behind Guerin. That didn't work. Karam was too smart for that. Then there's Joe Branch down there. He's fast, but there's nowhere to go. He's got a car in front of him, a car behind him, 2 cars to his right. Coming around with 21 to go as they cross the line this time. The drivers in the back continue to do their best to try to work their way up, but there's just no track to do it on. Almost getting together are Goodman and Big Joe Hassard. As they come across the line right now, I gotta ask the question that's on everybody's mind. Crackers, what time is it?
Soup, let's drop that disco ball down from the ceiling. Everybody on the floor. It's an all skate here. It's time to boogie, baby. Let's get this party started.
20 to go at Texas. What a way to celebrate your 5th anniversary. 19 to go. Guerin continues to hug the inside.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they've exactly thrown out a stinker here tonight, Soup. This
Nope.
has been pretty exciting action.
Getting really high as Andrew Havaketch can sell it back and forth, but he gets it going back in the right direction. 18 to go. Guerin continuing to say, put on the reggae music, you're going to pass me, you're going to have to do it high. Hey, underneath now is Kinsella. He tries to get underneath Karam. That didn't work. Every lap, the tires get a little bit older, and the racing gets a little harder, the passing a little more difficult. Oh, Kinsella really loses.
Big trouble.
Put him on both sides.
Wow, big
top.
trouble. Huge
Harrington goes
thing.
around top. Galvin goes around underneath, and Havaketch has fallen all the way back to 9th, and they continue to go by him as he catches his breath and tries to regain momentum.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen. He gets into the wash of Sage
There it
Karam.
is.
That car pushes right up the hill into the wall. I think he clips it.
Yeah.
He does.
And a great job from the entire field as they go around him.
Yeah, that's just great situational awareness from his fellow competitors there. That could have ended really, really bad, Soup.
Well, with Kinsella out of the mix and Joe Branch falling back a little bit, we got a new player in the game. It's Michael Goodman. Goodman coming off a 3rd place, and before that, a 3rd place, and right now he races in 3rd place.
It's that carpetbagger coming down to Texas, that New Yorker coming down here trying to get him some.
14 laps to go. Is Guerin's consistent inside line using up those tires more than maybe Karam, who's going the top way around? How about Michael Goodman? He hasn't really been pushing the car at all. He's just been back twiddling his thumbs in a manner of speaking. Maybe he's got something for these guys. He seems to as he opens up a large gap on Harrington.
I don't think the booth is big enough to get Goodman's head in if he wins this race over Sage Karam and Dan Guerin.
And 2 cars punch a real big hole. Let's watch this time around the leaders as they come off of 4, and let's see how long it is to the start-finish line. As they come off,
A lot of checkup from Kara.
Here they go. There's just not a lot of time to get there right there. Boy, if you're not alongside them out of 4, you got little hopes of snaking them at the line. 11 to go.
Soup, I think Goodman's got a plan here. I think he's got a plan here. He knows if he stays just far enough back here, he can continue to get a good run, enough to stay out of the wash.
Well, his plan will have a higher rate of success if it is a 3-car battle. But trying to get up there is Connor Harrington. Branch almost drifts up into Jason Galvin.
10 to go, baby.
2 wide for second now. Goodman on the inside. He's got it. Now let's watch the momentum from Karen. Karen does not want to lose that spot. He gets it back. This allows Garen to get a little bit farther away. Maybe too far away.
You know, and the battle just behind them for P4 is really, really intense. Also, Galvin is somehow trying to figure out a way around Harrington at the moment. Harrington occupying the middle of the track. Puts Galvin and Branch both in a pickle. Galvin going to shoot to the bottom.
Keep in mind, this is unexplored territory. They have been out there for 30 laps on this stint. That's about as far as we've seen one go. They're going to have to go 37 if they want to get to the end. We're getting close to the point of no return. We've seen it before. When the driving gets tougher, the fast get going, and that's what Dan Garrett has really started to do. Is he's opened up now 0.6 of a second on Sage Karam.
Yeah, well, Sage is falling into this battle with Goodman back there, and it has really allowed Dan to just step out a bit.
Quickly, let's go to Galvin. I just got a bad feeling here as Galvin is right on the gearbox of Harrington. They get it sorted out. Oh, look at the slowness now. Goodman, they're going to go around this one. Did Goodman make a mistake?
I think he did, Sue. He had to check up for Sage. He had to check up from running him over.
He did indeed, and that lost all of his momentum.
Wow. It's giving momentum to Galvin, though. Here comes Jason Galvin up on the outside across the start-finish line. Battling with Harrington. Sage Karam right over the nose. Soup, look at Galvin go.
Robert Workman is a lapped car. Galvin is just cooking with hot fish grease is what that boy is doing. Coming around 3 to go as he crosses the line.
Oh, is that Karam passing? Oh, I'm sorry, that was a lap car there. Bart Workman there. It's going to be hard catching Danny Dan.
Indeed. Big mess back behind.
Oh, Workman got involved. They all got to Bart Workman battling for the same position. Joe Hassert caught in the middle. Harrington goes up top. Tries to get out of Workman. He turns the car down.
That's Isaiah Dupree. And really, Isaiah, there was really nothing Isaiah could do. And again, I believe it was some ghost contact that got Workman.
He's an onboard with Harrington. Makes a great save there, Soup. It doesn't matter, though, in the end.
Well, there is no injustice to this one, as Dan Guerin was clearly the class of the field. I don't think that Sage Karam had anything for him. Dandy Dan has taken the white flag. He's worked his way through 1 and 2. He is behind the pace car now. And I believe he is on his way to picking up his 3rd win of the season, matching what Adam Blocker has done. Blocker with a horrible race, our point leader. Big opportunity for Guerin to close the gap as the Loud Pedal Motorsports 200 from Texas is going to get awarded to Dandy Dan Guerin. Sage Karam will settle for second. Jason Galvin is your final podium driver. Joe Branch and Big Joe Hassard round out your top 5. Woo, doggy, it was a good one.
Ooh, yeah, it really was.
Well, as the drivers work their way around for their cool-down lap, it'll give us a chance to take a break. Don't go far. We'll be back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate, as we're back for the Plasma Track Victory Lane post-race show here on the Global Sim Racing Channel and IESN. Back in Welcome back to the Loud Pedal Motorsports 200 and the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. If you're like me and have trouble finding that perfect idea for a gift for the person who has everything, I got the website for you. Plasma-tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophies, home decor, and motorsports fabrications are also available. Words cannot do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate their wall art is to see it for yourself. But be warned, one visit and the next thing you know is you'll be trying to convince your spouse why you need a Plasma Tracks wall art hanging in your home. See it all at plasma-tracks.com. Use promo code LRS2019 to get 25% off your order. And here is 100% of the finishing order of the Loud Pedal Motorsports 200 that just wrapped up here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Well, He started on the pole. He did not go wire to wire, but we're talking about Dan Guerin as he got the win, as he was well on his way to getting the win before the yellow flag came out and he had to get the checkered flag under caution. Sage Karam was on his right rear the entire final part of the race, but wasn't able to get the pass done. He'll have to settle for second. Jason Galvin, coming off a great finish last time out, picks up third as the Bakerfield boy continues to work up his way through the points. Joe Branch and Joe Hassard go fourth and fifth. Back half of your top 10, Michael Goodman, Isaiah Dupree. Nice run from Cousin Dupree. Brian Beard, Ron Hacker, and Connor Harrington finishes in 10th. Crackers?
All right, Soup, I'll take P11 here. It's going to be by Grigney. He picked up 22 spots to finish 11th in this race. Great on him. Damon Martinez, 12th place for him. Ken Hack, 13th. Paul Jenkins, 14th tonight at number 35. Sam Ryman in the 1 hour Martinizing. Delara IR18, number 63, will finish 15th. Andrew Kinsella, 16th for him. After what was a pretty solid night, he finds trouble there late. Greenlee going to finish 17th. John Hill, 18th place run for him. Robert Bluen, 19th, and 20th going to go to Scotty Johnson. Sue?
Hitting blackjack in the last car out there running 2 laps down was George Anzaldo. Then we get to the guys who all had trouble. The first being Bart Workman, Joe Flanagan, 20 laps down in 23rd. Brian Yazik, the Watchman, Mark Cohn, Tyler Groff, Dustin Wardlow in 27th. Your points leader, Adam Blocker, just ahead of George Sandman, Stephen Larkamp in 30th. And I'll just take these final ones. Justin Weaver, David Altman, Bobby Mikas, and Chris Stouffer. Brandon Limkeman also in there as well, as he was 116 laps down with an early exit from him. I get the privilege of talking to our race winner, Dan Guerin. My goodness, Dan, put it on the low side and keep it there. I only saw one driver get underneath you the entire race. When Karam got underneath you one time, was that just letting him do it, or was that a mistake?
No, that was a slight mistake on my part there. You had to be very careful not to get too far off the bottom, and a few times we left the door open for other people. They just didn't quite take the opportunity. But clean air was king. Once you got about 10 to 15 laps into a run, then the air wash really started to take effect. So long as you could hold the bottom that long, and the tires were already starting to junk out after 12 laps or so. So if you could hold on to that long, then you could not quite guarantee yourself to stay up front, but pretty darn close to it.
Going into this, was there a number you had in mind where you were, when it was time to pit? Okay, you were pitting with, I saw like 18 laps on your tires. Clearly they're going away. Was there a number you said, okay, if I got 4 laps, I stay out, 7 laps, I stay out?
Nope. If we had a caution come out, it was fresh tires. That was
I got it. Hey, congratulations. You pick up your 3rd win of the season now. Close the gap a little bit to Goodman, who had to Blocker, who had a bad run today. So we'll see you down the road. Got a championship hunt, baby.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay in it. I knew I had to do something when I seen the Blocker leave the race there, but give a shout out to my teammates and Sage Karam also. He definitely helped me out there towards the end. My sponsors, Lock Precision, Midwest Simulations, Graphics, and Sim Racers.
You got to thank you. Dan Guerin, your winner today, picking up his 3rd win. All right, Sean, you get to talk to the youngster.
Sage, Sean here. What a race, man. You were up and down the field, but when it really counted, you were up where you needed to be. Talk to us about how crazy that was, especially in the early stages for you there when you slid all the way back.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that like clean air was going to be pretty much everything. And, so I wanted to be, first or second, knowing that, you could run 2 lanes here. So, both were just as good. And yeah, we had some issues in the beginning, and I got shuffled back and went back to 21st, and I had to work my way back up. Thankfully, got up towards the front again, avoiding some collisions and stuff. So, with racing that close, things happen pretty quick, and you got to put a lot of trust in the guys around you. So I think everybody, for the most part, did a really, really good job tonight. I think, from what I saw on Discord with in the chat with all the warm up races and stuff, it seemed like those were a little hairy. So no, it was cool to see everybody kind of minded their P's and Q's, and yeah, it was good. I had a lot of fun and happy to come home in second. Just didn't really have I just didn't really have the tire to get underneath Dan there at the end. And right when I was seeing he was starting to, kind of drift up towards the outside of the track, I was like, all right, maybe next lap is my time now to get underneath. And literally right when I said that, I just lost complete front grip in the front tire. So I didn't have anything there at the end. I was just kind of holding on for dear life and just happy to come home in second.
Sage, it's Soup here. Clearly, when you race in the real world and you don't want to crash the car for, consequences with the hospital and with the bank. But when you're racing in iRacing, you don't have that to worry about. Do you find it, I don't know how to put this. Obviously, the consequences aren't as severe. Do you race as if we're the same, or do you let yourself be a little more aggressive knowing that you have to worry about hurting yourself?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's like no like fear factor, I guess you could say, in the sim. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely pulled some moves tonight that wouldn't try in real life. That's for sure.
Let me ask you this: what is more of a motivation not to crash? The fear of injury or fear of damaging the boss's car?
I don't know. I guess it depends who you're driving for.
That's a good answer. Thanks, man.
All right. Well, Sage, real quick. Now you did have some big news this week. You got a ride next weekend. You're going to be a little busy, aren't you? Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah. So, kind of some bittersweet news. Obviously, a little more sweet for me just because I've been waiting for so long to do more races other than just Indy. But yeah, I got signed up to do the Toronto IndyCar race next weekend. With Carlin, and got a cool new sponsor on the car with Smart Stop self-storage. So hopefully that goes well and can lead to some more races. But the bitter part of it is that I'll miss the Lionheart Indy 500. So a little give and take.
Oh, well, okay. Well, we'll keep up with what you're doing there in Toronto anyway. So best of luck to you, and really, really happy to hear you get the opportunity there in that Carlin Racing ride there. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks. Looking forward to it.
Crackers, that's some good news there. I did not know that. That is good to hear. We'll certainly be watching that. How about that answer? Depends on who you're driving for.
Right. Yeah. I'm thinking
right,
if you're driving for like maybe somebody like AJ.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to. You're probably not too concerned about your health, because if you wreck the car, your health is going to be in peril.
AJ will take care of that right there for you.
Yeah. I'll take care.
Let's go ahead and
talk what the car and track didn't.
We got Jason Galvin with us here, finished third. Jason, strong run.
Yeah, that was boy. I bet you two need some coffee or something, or a nap after that, huh? That was insane. Everything about that race was insane. I think we all knew it was going to be insane. I backed off at one point. I was up there mixing it up with Dan and Sage and Connor, and I'll be honest, I had zero faith that they were going to make it to the end. So I laid off, and it kind of hurt me. I got buried a little bit and was able to fight back there at the end. We caught Bart at just a weird time. Bart didn't do anything wrong. It sucks that he ended up getting taken out there on the last lap. I caught him at a bad time. And had to go low off a 2 on bad tires, or I think I had a real shot at Sage. I was the second fastest car on the track behind Dan once we all got single file there, and I ran great with Dan Monday, so I knew we had a chance. I just, sometimes things don't work out. So congrats to Dan. It's a big night for him in the points. It sucks to see that happen to Adam. They've both been so good this year, but what a fun, crazy, wild night. It's nice to be on the podium 2 weeks in a row. I've literally more than doubled my points total in the last 7 days. So this is good momentum heading to Indy, which is a race that Thumbs Up Cancer Down is sponsoring. So, and I'll just knock all that stuff out right now. Global Electronic Technology, Thumbs Up Cancer Down, thanks to them. And last week, I just want to say this. Last week, we talked about dedicating the win to a couple people who were fighting cancer. One of them, I tell people all the time, thumbsupcancerdown.com. Just please go look at it. You don't need to do anything else. Just be aware of it and the great things they're doing. If you feel that you want to support it, we'd love that. The organization was founded for a gentleman named David Marcus, an adult with special needs. He fought cancer 7 times. We lost him on Friday after his 7th battle. And I was one of the last people that saw him alive. That wasn't his family member on Thursday, and I'm so fortunate that I got to see him. But he's literally the founding inspiration behind Thumbs Up Cancer Down, and I'm so grateful the league has taken him on like this. So I know we didn't win tonight, but this one goes out to David. And if you need some positivity in your life, doesn't matter what you're going through right now. If you want to smile and cry a little, but you want a positive moment, just Google David Marcus, and if you put the letter B in, Bakersfield will pop up. And look what that man did for this community of 1 million plus people over the last couple of weeks in his 7th fight against cancer. I've never seen anything like it. So I'd like to think that David's hanging out right now, watching this, enjoying it. He's a big race fan, and tonight goes out to him. So thanks for what you guys do. Thanks to the league, everybody involved, and we'll see you in Indy.
You got it. Good words indeed, and congratulations on the podium. And bigger congratulations on the fine work that Jason does with that charity. Thumbs Up, Cancer Down. Let's thank First Medical Equipment. They've been the source of medical supplies and equipment in the Burlington, Iowa area for years because of superior commitment to provide the absolute best in quality and customer service. And then it would be Cracker's time.
Oh, all right. And then I'm sorry, Soup. My bad. And then the team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering systems. By providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer. It can also make for an effective training tool for real-world drivers. More information on their entire sim experience ecosystem, including their GS5 seat, stage series motion systems, and SimVibe software, visit simexperience.com. That's experience with an X, simexperience.com. Use the promo code SIMXLION to get 5% off SimVibe software.
Butt Kicker products add that instant immersion to any game, unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force. Butt Kicker products move actual mass producing. You know what it does. It produces a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. Butt Kicker products add that missing driver-to-car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. Use promo code LION25 to get, you guessed it, 25% off your order. Crackers.
And to contact any of the sponsors you see on the screen right now, go to LionheartRacingSeries.com. Click on the 2019 sponsors and read or scroll down to the bottom where you can click on the company logo. And the iconic original music that lets your ears alert your eyes you're watching another GSRC production comes courtesy of June Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact her. On the screen now are just some of the companies, equipment, and software that made this broadcast possible. Folks, big news here. The Lionheart IndyCar Series returns for a rare Saturday event. Yes, that's July 13th. Here just in a little over a week for round 12, a full-length Indianapolis 500 sponsored by Thumbs Up Cancer Down, GSRC, and the iRacing Esports Network. We'll be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us then.
My gosh, sliding across your screen now are some of the upcoming broadcasts. Check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you want more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. And if you haven't done so yet, head on over to our YouTube page and hit that big red button so you can be a member, a subscriber, and you won't miss a thing on the GSRC. Finally, on behalf of everybody on the crew, that would be Sean, Amjad, and Dougie. I'd like to thank all of you for watching, as it was indeed Dandy Dan Guerin picking up the win here from Texas in the Loud Pedal Motorsports 200. That said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we will see you on the track.